risesal og øfødder i Danmark. Et lille futtog kom forbi for sjov.
Hello vinyl freaks, it's the Danish record hunter here, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about two records, and one of them it's Solskin by Lotte og Hanne. So let's get into it.
Han tændte solen på den blanke himmel, og 4.000 birketræer sprang ud.
So I thought that this was gonna be the right moment for me to say a little something about Solskin right here, because it's for sad reasons that I'm gonna talk about this today, and it's because Lotte Rømer, as you can see here biking right here on this picture, she passed away. And today, filming this video, it's a week ago, and yeah, it's so weird because a month before she passed away, I went to a flea market and I found her autobiography, which I have been reading, and I was reading also when she died. So that was kind of a shock. That's the first time that ever happened to me, that I read an autobiography of some artist and they suddenly pass away while I do that. But that's what happened. So Solskin here by Lotte and her sister Hanne was released in 1977, around the same time as the first record by Anna. And for those who doesn't know, Lotte and Hanne Rømer, they formed one of the first Danish girls groups in the 70s. Of course there were others, the most famous was Chanel. But I think Anna is just as good, and you can even say arguably it's better. It's definitely a tad more jazzy, and also Anna was a jazzier band than what you hear on this record here by Lotte and Hanne. This is more folky, I guess, because you know, these sisters, Hanne is the big sister to Lotte, and they have been jamming for many years before forming Anna. And Lotte Rømer, she first started playing the violin, and then she started singing, and then started playing the bass. So I guess the whole early foundation of their influences is shown on this album they did together. It's folky stuff, folky hippie music, and there's lots of violin, lots of Lotte Rømer's violin on here. But I think it's just charming release, and some good tracks on here, especially the one called Messen. That one, and it's cool. I guess it's also one of the shortest on here. It's a very short album. It's not very long tracks at all, but it's very cool. And it's also on the record. Their little brother Ole Rømer, he was this jazzy drummer. He was in the jazz scene in Denmark. He also plays the drums on here, and yeah. Let's just have a listen to some samples from this record.
En sexet ko fra Mexico med verdens største yver blev kåret som Miss Mexico og tog den første flyver. Hun Hollywood, hvor der var mange vildmænd, som sloges om at komme først med en kontrakt til filmen. Jeg er ingen grinebider, jeg er en alvorlig ræd, men når trolden kilder mig på maven, bliver jeg glad. Livet er en gratis glæde, håbet er en fix idé. Det er skønt at kunne græde, men langt skønnere at le. Når hash ryger massen, har tændt sig en smøg og smagt lidt på hashen, så bliver han så høj, at han vokser ud af sit ternede tøj. Så står han på strøget i Stenløse by og gemmer fornøjet sit blik bag en sky og synes, at verden deroppe er ny.
And the next record I'm gonna talk about, I've not seen a lot of times. I've seen it once before I bought it, very cheap. And also there it was a cheap record, and it was in one of the Accord record stores in Copenhagen, and I chose not to buy it back then, and I don't understand why. Because later on I started researching a little bit of the record, and I thought, okay, this could be something, and it's the band called R.I.P with their only record, Live i Forstaden. And looking at the record sleeve, it has this urban grittiness to it. So I thought this can go in many directions. Maybe it's gonna be punk, maybe it is hippie rock, but it's something in the middle. It's a concept album, and talking about the suburbs of Copenhagen, I guess. Like what we call Vestegnen, so that's like Brøndby, Hvidovre, Rømer, such places like the greater Copenhagen. So yeah, it's a record that fuses many different styles. It's a musical kind of record, but then it is also kind of heavy in places. There's some nice, it's really brilliant guitar work on here. Just listen to the track called Hyggebo. You know the word hygge, but here it's like cozy living. Hyggebo is the name of a street that is sung about on the record. And yeah, it sounds like Boston, if Boston wasn't polished. So it's that kind of guitar rock in a way, some very nice Syrian guitar work, great vocals, and then if you listen to an instrumental track called Forstaden, that one goes full on heavy rock. It's kind of metallic in a way. Just listen to the fiery guitar solos on that one, it's crazy. And then there's also tracks like Strøget in Sommerdal, which is sort of like summer pop music, which brings you in a good mood. It's just an awesome record, I think. And another funny thing is the vocalist of the group. He was recruited just before recording it, as far as I know, and his name was Lars Bertelsen. And Lars Bertelsen, later on, that's where I first knew him from, and that was his collaboration with Michael Denner and Hank Sherman from Merciful Fate, because they released an album in around 1990-91 or something called Sosa Mess, and on that record Lars Bertelsen, he sang a couple songs. And later on, Michael Denner also released a solo record called Denner's Trickback, and on there Lars Bertelsen sang all the songs. And that record is a covers album. So I think there's maybe 1 or 2 original tracks that Michael Denner wrote, but the rest are covers of Captain Beyond and Freeman Army, Jericho, who else? But yeah, Mountain, such groups. And Lars Bertelsen sang those songs. So that just tells you what a great vocalist he is, because it takes a little bit to sing rock songs like that as a Danish person and pull it off very well, and I think he did. Also, what's interesting about the record is the record label called Response. And Response, they only released a few records, and one of them is a 45 single, and that was what many consider the first punk rock 45 single in Denmark by Lost Kids. It's on there, and you can always argue, because you can also argue that the Wild Horses, I've shown that one on my channel some weeks ago. You can argue that Wild Horses predates Lost Kids, but Lost Kids is the first official one if you ask the majority of Danish people. And also on the Response label there's another record called Splask. It's another oddball record, and both Splask and Lost Kids goes for lots of money today, especially Lost Kids. Splask is affordable, but it's still expensive. Overdrevet with the record Life i Forstaden, Life in the Suburbs. It is very cheap, even on Discogs. This doesn't cost a lot, and I don't know why. I guess it was put out in the same amount of copies or something like that as, for example, Splash or Lost Kids. But this somehow doesn't cost anything today. And maybe it's because people, they don't know how it sounds like, because this is surprisingly good. And I think my expectations, they were a little bit, you never know. but this one surprised me. So anyway, let's listen to some samples from the record.
Til byen og render rundt med næsen i skyen. Vi ser på lækre damer og komplet sindssyge reklamer. Vi glemmer vore bøger og alt hvad vi søger. Det er at være os selv, så vi har strøget en sommerdag fra skolen. Er der ingenting vi skal i vor fritid? Er der masser af ting vi kan?
So I hope that you liked what you heard, and please take a look at my channel in the next coming days, because I'm gonna be putting out those 2 records for you to listen to. So before that, take care and see you next time. Peace out.